going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. I hope you guys had a great holiday break, a great New Year's Eve. But we are now within 8 weeks of the 2025 Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio. The first day, January 1st, 2025. The countdown really begins. The Arnold Classic is at the very end of February, very beginning of March. And we've got some more physique updates from some of the top guys. The update that I wanted to talk about here first, though, is the one that's impressed me the most this week. And that was the update that we got today from Carlos Thomas Jr. And Carlos has got to be the guy, the underdog that I'm rooting for the most in this lineup. He's the guy that I want to see really have a breakout showing at this year's Arnold Classic. His physique is just insane. In this latest update, we get to see a little bit more as far as him posing, and just the 3D roundness that Carlos has to his physique is unreal. To me, it's very reminiscent of Phil Heath. He's got a crazy lower body, but as you look at him hit the most muscular, his upper body, just the roundness and fullness, that 3D look that he's got in his arms, crazy vascularity, proportions are insane, relatively new pro, hasn't really had like a super breakout show as far as a pro show yet. And with this lineup having so many heavy hitters, in this past year, we've seen so many young up-and-coming guys have breakout years like Martin Fitzwater. I really hope that there's a chance that Carlos is the next breakout guy. I mean, genetically, he's just a freak. I don't know how anybody can look at an update like this and not be impressed. If you're a bodybuilding fan and you're looking at this update from Carlos Thomas Jr., the guy is just freaky. And I've talked about before, the main 2 points of criticism with Carlos up until this point in his career has been his back and his conditioning. Now, even though he's crazy vascular in this update at 8 weeks out, you still don't really see those crazy deep separations in the quads. You see vascularity, but not those crazy deep separations. And I think the same can be said when you look at his chest. He's got all this vascularity, looks crazy throughout the arms, but you don't really see crazy deep separation, striations with the chest. And even if you look at his midsection, that lower ab area still seems to be holding some fat or water or both. And I know that one of the issues that Carlos was struggling a lot with in 2024 was his gut health. There was something going on with his gastrointestinal system. I don't know exactly what the issue was, but that was part of the reason why he missed some shows and he took a period of time off. He was kind of struggling with that. So I kind of wonder, and probably is, something that's contributing to the conditioning issue that he seems to have had. And I'm hoping that he's able to overcome that for the Arnold this year, because this is a very impressive physique. Like I said, proportions are crazy, roundness and fullness through the roof. We still haven't seen his back yet. Like I said, that's kind of been another point of criticism with Carlos. We haven't seen, at least I haven't seen any recent updates of his back to know if he's made any significant improvement there. But this, to me, is like the dark horse of the show. I think if he really nails it, I think he certainly has a shot at top 6 and potentially top 3. But if he doesn't nail it, he could just be completely outside of the conversation. So he's kind of a dark horse in that sense. I'm really rooting for him to do well. I want him to have a breakout show at the Arnold. I'm a huge fan of his physique. And as a bodybuilding fan myself, I look at a young guy like this, and this is one of the guys that gets me excited for the future of bodybuilding. Really small waist for the amount of size that he has, just incredible physique. I can't say enough positive things. I hope that he has a really breakout show at the Arnold. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. How do you think Carlos is going to place at the Arnold this year? How do you think he looks in this update for 8 weeks out? Conditioning-wise, size-wise, whatever. I think we're going to have an exciting year when it comes to these young guys. Carlos, Good Vito, Martin Fitzwater, Nick Walker throwing his hat back into the ring. I think these young guys are going to be not only the future, but I think in the immediate future, the beginning of the year, we're going to see a lot of really good battles with these new talents that really haven't been talked about much up until these last 12 months. And I'm really hoping that Carlos is one of those guys that rises to the top, because I really think genetically he's very gifted. And then also today, for the beginning of the year, we got a new physique update from Lunsford at 8 weeks out, one of the 3 Open Mr. Olympia champs that's competing in this Arnold Classic lineup, in addition to Brandon Curry and Samson Dauda, and then, of course, Sean Clarita, a 212 Olympia champ. I know that there's a lot of people rooting for Derek to win this one. Derek has a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He lost his Olympia title this year, and he wants to put his name back on top of the conversation going into the Olympia this year. He talked in a recent YouTube video on his channel about how he's been going through a very difficult time in his personal life, his family life lately, and how he believes that's going to help him bring his all-time best to the stage. And I think the thing that I liked the most about this recent update from Derek was the posing. The victory pose in particular, where he puts his arms over his head, that kind of famous Sergio Oliva trademark pose. It actually looks pretty crazy on Derek's physique because Derek has become kind of known for these crazy wide lats, a crazy small waist. Even though he's got a tank top on here, you can't see the taper and you can't see his waist as well. Derek's got a physique that's really well suited to that pose. And I'm not really used to seeing him hit that pose. I think it's a really good pose for him that really shows off the thickness and the width of his lats. And that's kind of been the thing that I've been noticing about a lot of these recent updates from Derek, is to me he looks bigger. He looks fuller. He looks thicker. And maybe he has a little bit of a different strategy going into this Arnold Classic than he's typically had going into the Olympias. Maybe he's going to be bringing more size into this Arnold. Maybe with his new coach, he's got a new game plan. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think Derek has a legitimate shot at beating Samson and getting a little bit of that momentum back that he may have lost at the Olympia this year at the Arnold Classic? Do you think we could see a massive upset? Like I've said before, I think that would be maybe the most entertaining outcome at the Arnold, is even though it seems most likely that Samson would win, if a Mr. Olympia champ was beaten outside of the Olympia, that would be massive upset, really exciting, and something you don't get to see very often. But do you guys think that that's even possible? Now, next up in the news, we also got a bunch more physique updates from Mike Sommerfeld, who is a lot of people's favorite to win the classic physique division at the Arnold this year. Like 5 updates in the past 24 hours from Mike. In particular, the one that really impressed me was this one where he's posing with his friend. He's hitting an abs and thighs shot, and you can see cross striations in his quads at 8 weeks out. And that's kind of what I'm talking about going back to Carlos Thomas Jr. You see guys, like even classic physique guys, really deep, really crazy separation in the quads. And granted, Carlos Thomas Jr. wasn't exactly hitting a pose that was meant to show off his legs in those videos like Mike is doing here. He's doing an abs and thighs, so he's obviously flexing his legs, but pretty impressive separation in his legs for 8 weeks out, having the cross-striated quads. And again, I would say that that's probably one of the main areas that Wesley struggles with, and Mike kind of excels. But I think Mike looks great at this point in his prep, and I'm hoping to see from Wesley more lower body updates so we can compare a little bit. Because we know that Wesley and Mike both have crazy impressive upper bodies, but I want to see what Wesley's lower body is looking like compared to Mike's. Now, the final story that I've got for you guys today, this is a little bit of a shorter video because there hasn't been a lot going on, I'm guessing because of the holidays. The most recent physique update from Hunter Labrada and also Tonio Burton. These are both guys that are top 10 Olympians. They're really high-level bodybuilders. They both seem to be like they're either prepping or about to start a prep. They're in pretty good shape. And when I'm looking at these updates, I'm thinking about some of these upcoming shows because we know they're not doing the Arnold, and we know that they both still need to qualify for the 2025 Mr. Olympia. Typically, Hunter does seem to qualify a little bit later on in the year, not so much early. But I know that this Pittsburgh show, the Pittsburgh Pro that's coming up in May, is attracting a lot of these guys. There's pretty high prize money there. I've heard there's a lot of big names that have already committed to doing that show, even though the competitor list hasn't been released. I just heard the other day that Nathan Diasha is actually planning on doing the Pittsburgh Pro as well. So when I'm seeing some of these updates from some of these bigger name guys, like Hunter, like Tonio, I'm thinking about that Pittsburgh show a lot. Because like I said, that Pittsburgh show, typically, they don't have a pro division for open bodybuilding. It has become famous for the crazy guest posing lineups that they have at that show because it's a show promoted by the Manions. And a lot of the bodybuilders have a lot of respect, obviously, for the Manions, so everybody shows up. And I think they're going to have a similar result with the actual competition now that it's not a guest posing. I mean, we already heard that Nick and Martin are both doing Pittsburgh. We heard that Good Vito is doing Pittsburgh. Now Nathan. I believe Andrew Jacked also said he was doing Pittsburgh. So while in the immediate future we're looking forward to this Arnold Classic, I think we're going to have a really, really good show in May. And then you've also got the New York Pro in May, and you got the Arnold Classic Brazil. All these shows right in a row. I think we're going to see a lot of our favorite bodybuilders competing in the very near future, because this is a very, very strong start to 2025 with the shows that are on that immediate beginning of the competitive season. And there's pretty good money on the line at these shows, especially the Arnold, $500,000, $500,000. So I would just say to keep that in mind as we start to see maybe more updates from some of your favorite pros. I have a feeling that they're posting those updates because they're probably doing one of these shows that's coming up very, very soon. But that's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, click that bell notification icon if you have not already. And as always, I love you guys, appreciate you guys. Hope you had a fantastic holiday, whatever holiday you celebrated. I hope it was awesome. And as always, love you guys, appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at NickStrengthPower, my Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power, my secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.